I am a politician, and I think that part of our role is to act as an ombudsman for Canadians. I'm Marlene Jennings. I'm the Member of Parliament for Notre-Dame-de-Grâce-Lachine, also known as NDG Lachine. I like to help people, so this is a good job for me. I was involved in politics from probably a very young age, although I didn't realize it was politics. I don't come from a traditional political family. We followed the civil rights movement in the United States. I watched, Martin Luther King Jr. and his speech, I Have a Dream. So without realizing I was political, I was already political. In high school, I was the president of my student council. I actually led a walkout at my school. I think my parents were quite proud of me. They just asked me, next time, tell us before you do it. I have a lot of heroes when it comes to political engagement and citizen engagement, and that a lot of them inspired me. A lot of them are women, but some of them are men as well.
If elected leader.
Rosemary Brown, the first Black Canadian to be elected to a legislature. It was in BC. Big hero for me. Lincoln Alexander, first Black Canadian to be elected to the House of Commons back in the 60s. But these are people who were involved in community issues, pushing for human rights, pushing for social justice beyond their professional work. And they were heroes to me, and to me that's political engagement as well. A lot of women that I knew who were engaged in the political scene told me, it's still a man's world. I was perhaps not as concerned as a lot of women would be because I did come from a male-dominated milieu.
Je pense que le choix pour les Canadiens, pour les Québécois est très clair.
In 1988, I had been appointed the first female member of the Quebec Police Commission, and in 1991, when the whole system in Quebec was reformed, I was named Deputy Commissioner for Police Ethics. In the 90s, I was approached by a woman who was doing international development work on human rights, and she wanted to know if I had some contacts in some African countries, and I did, and we kind of clicked and started going out to lunch together. It was the beginning of '97. Mr. Chrétien had dictated that a minimum of 25% of his candidates would have to be women. And so she called me up one day when I was at my office and said, I think you'd make a great candidate and I'd like to submit your name. I talked to my family, my husband, my in-laws, my brother, and sisters, my siblings, and they all said, Marlene, you need to do this. And so they basically twisted my arm and convinced me to do it. And I've never regretted it. Okay, so we'll get the information for you. Possibly I'm fortunate in the sense that I have a personality where I like to help people, so this is a good job for me.
Steve, nice to meet you, Marlene.
When I'm in Ottawa, it's a whole different life. In Ottawa, I'm dealing with policy issues. I mean, if these organizations have been successful, it's in part because of the work that I and others have done in Ottawa, ensuring that we've got the programs in place to respond to actual needs. And that once those programs are there, that they're actually operating the way they should operate. Your forte may be doing a design. Some of those young people today, they'll start to think, well, you know, maybe things aren't as bad, and maybe there are things that we can actually change and legislation that we can affect. It's fantastic.
Prime Minister says he is clamping down on his minister's chauffeurs.
2 Challenger jets at the air at the same time for 1 minister. Unbelievable.
How did he do that?
I have to say, notwithstanding the lack of civility at times in the House of Commons or in committee, what makes it worth it for me is we really are helping people. If you get involved politically, you're going to create new networks which will certainly serve you well in whatever field of endeavor that you want to go into, and that you shouldn't be put off by the barriers. Somebody has to be the trailblazer. And all of the advantages that I, Marlene Jennings, I've enjoyed since my birth, whereas the result of trailblazers who led the way before I even drew my first breath on this earth. I hope that I've been able to push that door open a little bit more, a few centimeters more, so that the young women who come after me will be able to get in the door, and then they'll be able to take the door away so that the opening is there, and then take the wall away so that it's one common space for everyone. We need each one of you.